What's up? What's
Hey,
up? It's those sports chicks in the house. We have Sadell, Nicole, and
Carlita Nicole, the quirky queen herself, Chi-Town, born and bred, Texas fed. What's up, y'all?
what's going on? Just man, it's been an interesting week of football, boxing. Like it was just yes, it was just a lot.
Yes,
It was awesome.
all of the things, right? All
Yeah.
of the things. And like a lot of people have been asking me, about my toxic relationship, girl, with the Jerry
What
Jones.
you got on right now?
I have on a Cowboys shirt. So here's the deal this week. If y'all noticed, I have the bottom part of the star covered up still because it's still a toxic relationship. Here's the deal. Like every toxic relationship, there's ebbs and flows, right? Sometimes there's highs, sometimes there's lows. So
Oh,
this week it was an all right week. What did I do? Jerry Jones, he sent me flowers by giving me Jadeveon Clowney and not waiting to give me Jadeveon Clowney or any other pass rusher. So he sent me flowers in Jadeveon Clowney. And I'm appreciative and I'm grateful. Never, never ungrateful, right? And at the same time, just as toxicity goes, it goes bad. It goes right back to being bad. So I don't necessarily want to take off all of the tape
what what
because
what what went bad? What went bad?
it's been going bad. It's
No, I'm
been
saying you
bad.
said it went back bad. What went back bad?
If it goes, so this is the thing. Right now, we good, right? It's kind of, sort of, because I got my flowers. But next week, when we go to Chicago, let me tell you something. If Dallas goes into Chicago, and I love my city, I love my hometown, but if Dallas goes into Chicago next week and loses, I'm covering everything back up. I'm covering everything back up because that's really going to throw me for a loop. And we're going to get to that Chicago game in a little bit. But first, the whole Jadeveon Clowney thing, y'all, listen. We got a 3-time Pro Bowler. Glad about it. Not mad at all, right? But also, this is a connection between Brian Schottenheimer and Jadeveon Clowney, who were both on the Seahawks. So Jadeveon Clowney is familiar with Brian Schottenheimer, which is very good for us. But also, yes, he's older, but he still moves well. I'm not mad at him. Like, yes, he's 32. This is his 17th. He's been on 17 for a reason. But he has always wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. So, what are your thoughts about finally getting a replacement for Michael Parsons and a pass rusher that we absolutely definitively need? What do you think about Jadeveon Clowney?
As far as a replacement for Micah, I don't know. However, I do think for the money, right, that we spent on him and for what he can add, because he's not only a great pass rusher, he's also a good run defender. And so it kind of helped hopefully plug up some things when we are playing against the Eagles and we have an issue with the QB that can run. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I do think and hope that, he'll add that extra element that'll give us a little bit more pressure
right.
because, God dang, Russell Wilson had like 18 hours to pass the ball. Like he was picking us apart like a freaking maniac. Like it was like Christmas presents going out to his receivers.
And then
But
this happened again. Again, that was another quarterback past his prime that we made look like a Hall of Famer.
I mean, he
Again,
literally just, but there wasn't pressure. He was just there chilling. We trying to give him the game. We tried very, very hard to give them
very
the
much so. So let's get into that then. Because Dallas barely beat the New York Giants.
Barely,
Barely,
barely.
37-40, y'all, at home on a Sunday afternoon. So you already know when it comes to veterans in AT&T Stadium, I had Ron flashbacks again. So listen, the game was a back and forth game, especially in the fourth quarter. Both of these teams combined for a total score of 41 points in the fourth quarter alone, in one quarter. So that should tell you it wasn't no daggone defense going on. So here's the deal, because that's 4 quarters going into overtime that this game went into. Like she said, Russell Wilson had all of the time in the world. How much time did he have? Well,
Hours.
he had 450 yards passing. So that there should go and tell you Russell Wilson in 2025, what? Is this his rookie season? It's not. Because what were y'all doing?
We
Nothing.
were not pressuring him. That's what we were
No
not doing.
pressure. None. Because Russell Wilson, did y'all hear me? 450 yards passing. So 3 touchdowns. And this was the thing, because he got 2 great receivers, but Malik Neighbors had 167 yards off of 9 receptions. Y'all, that's over 18 yards per reception.
Because we have no secondary.
Exactly. And then at that, Rondell Robinson had 142 yards on 8 receptions. Y'all, that's over 300 yards passing with 2 receivers. 2, and that's it. And now, mind you, rushing yards the last couple of games in these last 2 weeks have been really good, because we held their number 1 rusher, Scatterbo, to 45 yards. Now, so there were good and bad things going on here. Here's the deal with this lack of defense. At the end of this game, in the fourth quarter, there were 6 lead changes before we tied the game. 6 lead changes. So check this out. After a 32-yard touchdown to Rondell Robinson, the Giants went up 3 points at the end of the fourth. So then we get the ball back. Dak passes to Pickens on a 6-yard touchdown. We kick the ball. It's 52 seconds left. We're up by 4 points. 52 seconds, Russell Wilson and his big old arm passes the ball downfield to Malik Neighbors, 48 yards, touchdown, 25 seconds left in this game. So now they're up 3. We're back and forth, back and forth. We get the ball back at the end of this game, and all we have to do is get the ball past the 50, because who do we have on our team but the Brandon Aubrey? And my beloved quarterback used his legs.
Finally. Go ahead.
He's been using his legs. We're not going to do that. But he cut through that defense, slid downfield past the 50, and wouldn't you know it, Brandon Aubrey ties the game on a 64-yard field goal, and we go into overtime. We get the ball, they get the ball, we get the ball back. Brandon Aubrey kicks a 46-yarder, and we win the game by 3 points. Y'all, Dakota Prescott did well. Like, Dak is QBing it up, and I'm gonna need y'all to put some respect on his name, because let the truth be told, he absolutely definitively is in the MVP conversation. Boop. 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 17 rushing yards,
1 interception. But go ahead, keep going. My bad.
Did you just gotta always just deflate the balloon?
No, it was great.
Williams got 97 yards rushing. CeeDee Lamb again over 100 yards. Go him. Now here's the thing. Ferguson, our tight end, had 78 yards and he was targeted 9 times. Listen, George Pickens had 68 yards and was targeted 5.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be utilizing George Pickens to me a lot more. But so with all of this information, the fact that here's the deal too, Sadell, because I know this is gonna tick you off. The fact that we had, or the Giants had 160 yards in penalties. They had the penalties. They had the passing yards though. They were able to score on us with ease. We still won this game. Our offense is performing at an elite level. However, our defense is very much so a liability. Sadell, all of everything in play with the pros and the cons of this game, what is your take on the defense and us winning this game by 3 points in overtime against the daggone Giants?
I think, to be honest, the past several years when we've had issues on defense, if our front seven are not performing and getting pressure, or handling, our secondary struggles,
Very much
they
so.
get exposed. And I know we talked about earlier, like when Diggs was getting picks and stuff, Diggs was getting picks because the QB didn't have much time to get rid of the ball. You don't have to cover very long, and all those passes are not going to be accurate because they're being rushed.
Yes.
So I feel like, at the end of the day, hopefully, this new addition will kind of help that. But I feel like we haven't really had a strong secondary, to be honest. We haven't had a strong secondary since Deion Sanders. But
Dang, you don't want to give Trayvon Diggs any credit. Like, geez. Christmas in September, Dak has been the Dallas MVP. He's my MVP and always will be. We're gonna get Sadell back here in a minute. He said, please control your blood pressure. This is fool's gold. We're gonna see, because these flowers that I got from Jerry Jones, we're gonna see how it goes. You back?
I guess.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, I was gone for a minute.
Yes, we didn't hear you.
Interesting. Okay, so what I was saying is, I'm not downing Diggs. He's good, but I'm saying he ain't Deion. So Deion, okay, think about when they played the 49ers in the Super Bowl, right? When Deion was still with the 49ers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, we don't have that. And so if there's no pressure on the QB, then yeah, our secondary is gonna struggle. And that's just what that's been. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm saying he not Deion didn't just shut down his side, he shut down the whole backfield.
Yeah. So, what do you expect to happen with the defense going forward? Especially, here's the deal, especially going into Chicago next week. And our defensive coordinator was Chicago's head coach last season.
Well, I mean, next week Jadeveon Clowney's supposed to play.
Mm.
So that should be a difference maker. You know what I'm saying? That should be a difference maker. I think it's gonna help boost confidence. I mean, he's a veteran. That'll add some leadership. That'll add another dimension to it. I think that it should help boost the defense quite a bit. I hope, anyway.
Of course, because let me tell you something. If we go into Chicago and Caleb Williams looks like rookie
Russell
of the
Wilson did.
year, just player of the year, player of the MVP, no, I'm going to blow a gasket, because here's the deal. Last week, Chicago had 21 points. And I looked, Rome Odunze is the only one on their offense that's really getting numbers. He had 128 yards and 2 touchdowns against Detroit, but DJ Moore is not who he used to be. Swift, their running back, hasn't really produced a whole lot. So they don't have a run game, and offensively, it
They struggle.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But also Chicago's very flaky, because remember in week one, they had the lead for 3 quarters, and then that fourth quarter Minnesota came back and they scored 21 points on Chicago in
Which
the
is
fourth quarter
ridiculous.
alone. Exactly. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I feel like Dallas has a lot of pros going into this game with Chicago, and I love Chicago. I want to see them do better. This is not the week, because Dallas absolutely definitively should win this game against Chicago. Matt Eberflus better be a revenge game for the gods. Okay, we need to see Jadeveon Clowney sack after sack and pressuring the quarterback. We need to see just no yards rushing, but somebody got to do something to make sure that Rome Odunze and DJ Moore don't go off, because if they do, it's gonna be we're gonna cover up the top part of this star again. That's what's gonna happen. HL said they're playing zone and man situations. They're Swiss cheese versus a good passing offense. Man, that's what it is. So listen, okay, Sadell. Okay, you're not there. I don't know if you can hear me, but we can't hear you. So going forward, this next week's game, okay, she'll be back. Next week, we're gonna see Chicago in Dallas, or Dallas in Chicago. And I really, really think that Dallas has to show out during that game, especially defensively, with Matt Eberflus going back to Chicago and us getting Jadeveon Clowney. So that's that. We're going to see how next week fares. And I swear to y'all, I will completely cover this star up next week if Dallas loses in Chicago. And y'all know I root for Chicago still, but this is not a game Chicago should win considering the circumstances. So moving on. Oh gosh, the next thing's next, and this is going to be really interesting when Sadell comes back, is the Commandos versus the Packers. So this was two young, promising QBs, Jaden Daniels versus Jordan Love. Austin Eckler had a bad injury during this game. He tore his Achilles, so he's out for the season. And honestly, the Commandos, since they have traded Brian Robinson to the 49ers, they just haven't had much of a run game. And Austin Eckler was supposed to be their end all be all, but Austin Eckler, with his torn Achilles, is out for the rest of the season. Therefore, they have signed Chase Edmonds. So if you were paying attention to Chase Edmonds in the last few seasons, he hasn't done a whole lot offensively. So we're going to see how that works for the Commandos. But as far as their passing game, it's interesting because they have Zach Ertz, Terry McLaurin, and Deebo Samuels. None of them got over 65 yards passing. And that just is not a good look for Washington, who Washington has been on an uphill since Dan Quinn has gotten there, coming from the Dallas Cowboys a few years ago. And then all of a sudden, they just kind of peaked. I don't know what is going on with Washington. So y'all Commando fans need to let us know what the deal is. Like, come to the floor front and center and let us know what are y'all doing offensively in the run game and in the passing game? Because it's, I mean, now mind you, they still are able to score, but the Packers with Micah Parsons, y'all, the Packers look good. They look really good. Um, so it's not just Jordan Love. Romeo Dobbs is their number one receiver, but he still has like four other players with more yards than him, including two tight ends. Tucker Kraft, if y'all were not paying attention, tight end Tucker Kraft is like the new flood of tight ends now. You know, a couple of years ago, you only had George Kittle, Travis Kelce, and Mark Andrews. Now tight ends are all over the place, and they are definitely just being beneficial to their offenses. Tucker Kraft ended up with 124 yards. Um, y'all, he's easily one of, if not the number one tight end right now, top two. Um, he's doing what he needs to do for the Packers, and really being their number one receiver. And him and Jordan Love, they definitely have a lot of chemistry. So in that sense, I am looking forward to seeing what the Packers are going to do for the rest of the season. Here's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys play the Packers in 2 weeks after Chicago. I am not sure how that game is going to go because historically we do not play well against the Green Bay Packers. And I'm saying that with Aaron Rodgers and without Aaron Rodgers. And also, we had Mike McCarthy for a spell, and we still weren't able to do what we needed to do to beat the Green Bay Packers. So that is one game out of all of these games for the first month of the NFL that I have been, that's the one game I'm fearful of. Period. That's just what that is. So until Sadell comes back, we'll move on because I have questions for her to answer for some of these games. Now, the Eagles played the Chiefs, and the Eagles beat the Chiefs 20-17. It's a low scoring game, but now the Chiefs are currently 0-2. Y'all, the last time that the Chiefs were 0-2 was like 2014. That was the last time that they didn't make the playoffs. And so here's the deal. Like, I knew something was gonna go awry with the Chiefs when Xavier Worthy got sideswiped by Travis Kelce in the first game overseas in Brazil. But they had Hollywood Brown, and I was like, okay, you know, they still have other receivers, but no, it's not really cutting it. So here's the deal too. Patrick Mahomes has had more rushing yards in that game than Kareem Hunt and Pacheco combined. The fact that Patrick Mahomes is running for his life and he's still having more rushing yards than his number one and number two running backs is problematic. With his receivers, the fact that, hey, Andre, with his receivers, it's also a thing because Travis Kelce isn't the Travis Kelce that he was a few seasons ago. And I mean, the rest of like Hollywood Brown, he was there last week, but didn't really do a whole lot. Xavier Worthy is supposed to be back this next coming week, but I'm not sure if he's going to have a brace on his arm for his shoulder or what. So, y'all, should we be worried about the Kansas City Chiefs or no? I know I was talking about the Eagles and them playing the Eagles. Yes, the Eagles are decent, but I don't think they're great. And I definitely feel like the Chiefs could win. And y'all know the last time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, they didn't have very much of an offense. They didn't have number one receivers and so on. So they still were able to win. And I never can count the Chiefs out so long as they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid as their head coach. So do y'all think that the we should be concerned about the Chiefs? Is the dynasty era over? Is this the end of the Travis Kelce, Mahomes, and Andy Reid Super Bowl run? Is that it for them? So, moving on, y'all. Here's the deal. This Jags and Bengals game, it's not even the game that I want to talk about with you guys. It's not the game. It's the injury. Another Joe Burrow injury. So here's the deal. Joe Burrow got injured on a sack and got a grade 3. It's a turf toe injury. And so he's going to be out. He has to have surgery. He's going to be out for at least 3 months. That's bringing him back at the end of the season. So here's the deal. Joe Burrow has had a slew of injuries since he has entered the league. Back in 2020, his rookie year, he tore his ACL, PCL, MCL, and his meniscus. In 2023, he tore a ligament in his right wrist that ended the season. So consistently, if you guys have paid attention, hey girl, hey.
Girl. Lord Jesus.
We'll come back to the other stuff right now. I'm talking about Joe Burrow and his injuries because this is going to lead to the quirky queen question of the day. So here's the deal. Consistently, the Bengals have been ranked at the bottom of the league for the pass block win rate. In 2020, they were 29th in the league. In 2021 and 2022, they were 30th. And they were 27th and 23, dead last season. And this season, just in the last 2 games, they're ranked 28th. Bottom of the barrel when it comes to pass protection and protecting their QB. They don't protect Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has had consistent injuries over and over and over. So here's the deal. Is Cincy saying, in Joe we trust? Joe is our franchise QB. That's who we're rolling with. And they're just failing in their execution? Or are they really saying Joe's good, but he's not good enough to build Rome around? What do y'all think? Like, is this an organizational thing? Are they sold on Joe Burrow or no? Because it doesn't seem like it with these injuries. And now they have Jake Browning starting and taking over. I don't know.
He kind of has to take over. I mean, Joe can't play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, I don't know that that's necessarily them doubting him. I think they want him to be their guy. He just can't stay healthy. I mean, has freaking turf toe.
He
And
can't stay healthy or they aren't protecting him.
I mean, a combination of both, I guess. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I don't think that that's not their guy. I think that's who they want to be their guy. And I mean, it's not like he's bad. He just, keeps having, I mean, turf toe out for 3 months is like a, you know,
That's a
a
lot.
freakish kind of whatever, and so, um, I mean, Jake Browning can win some games for them, but are they going to be at the Super Bowl? They're not. So yeah, I think they got to figure out, are they going to get him some protection and try and keep him? Or maybe, like you said, maybe he's not their guy, but I don't think that they're intentionally not protecting him. I think they just haven't made good decisions, kind of like we haven't in a while. What's up, Andre?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Andre was like his O line is just crazy. Exactly, his O line is just horrible. And I mean, there's a few. Pat Mahomes' line, they had, and it wasn't that they were terrible. Is they had so many injuries that he was playing with backups and running for his life. Everybody not Pat Mahomes though. But I'm just
Right.
saying, like, it makes a difference. So
It does. It does. I'm concerned for the whole organization because, like you said, Jake Browning may win some games because he has a Jamar Chase and a T. Higgins.
right,
And
some
to
game,
his credit, Jamar Chase did have 165 yards passing. So it's not like he can't throw the ball. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
So all's not lost, but Chase Brown was their only rusher. Like there was not a number two, three, four. He was it. And so, you're basically depending on one running back and two receivers with this backup quarterback and this terrible O line that can't protect an ant. And I just feel like I don't see enough from the Bengals organization that says we're going to do what we need to do to preserve our quarterback because I'm sick of seeing Joe Burrow on the ground. I'm sick of seeing like a talent like him. He is extremely talented, but unfortunately he is injury plagued, but it's not because he's injury prone. He's not. There's a difference. Like he's getting injured because he's not being protected.
Yeah, I mean, it's not new. This has literally been going on from years. I mean, back to his
Yes.
rookie season. So I mean, I
Right.
get what you're saying to a certain degree, but I don't know what their goal is. I don't know what their end game is. I think that at the end of the day, it's kind of like because I mean, think about Russell Wilson when he started complaining because when he was in Seattle, it
Uh-huh.
was great, but then it got to where he was having to run for his life every
Yes.
single play.
I
And
remember
I
that.
think at some point you like, man, I'm tired of doing this. So
Yes.
he may be the one that's like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. Right.
it's a tricky situation, and I don't know. I mean, I think this year they're gonna struggle through, but definitely not Super Bowl bound.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't think that they're even playoff bound,
That too,
unfortunately,
right? Yeah,
with the circumstances, because honestly, they are not like the San Francisco 49ers that could just pack and play a quarterback.
no,
The 49ers just they pick a quarterback and they place
right.
them in that position, and the rest of the team does what they're supposed to do, and that's all that matters.
They have a good system.
They have an excellent system, and the Bengals are not that, because as Joe Burrow does not play, like the team goes as Joe goes, unfortunately. And it's kind of like the Chiefs too. The Chiefs go as Patrick Mahomes go. And I just it's frustrating because I Joe Burrow's still young. He still has a lot of life and a lot of football play in him. And it's like if he was on another team with a better O line, I think Joe Burrow could lead them to a Super Bowl easily. I just want to see that man protected. I hate to see him hurt like that. I hate to see that. So, are you there? Okay. So, you're stuck again. Okay. So, that's the deal with Joe Burrow. I am frustrated as a fan watching him constantly have to go through injuries, because these are things that could legit be avoided. A lot of his injuries could have been avoided if he had some protection from a healthy O line and a productive O line, but that's not the case. Hey, girl.
I just had to switch to my phone. I don't know what is going on. It's like it's the app, but anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so that's what I feel like about Joe Burrow and the Bengals for the rest of this season. And it's really, to me, it's just an organizational thing, a front office thing. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and decide what's going to be more important. Are you going to protect your quarterback and show him that you want him there? Or are you just going to go and look for another quarterback? Because I can't imagine Joe Burrow is like, yeah, I want to be here. I want to be here with the circumstances. I
Yeah,
can't imagine that, because if I'm him, when I'm getting surgery, I'm like, hey, trade me. I would demand a trade.
that's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. I don't. They may not have a choice but to look for another QB at some point because, I mean, he's too young. It's going to shorten his career too much. Like that's it's just a lot.
I would demand a trade. Joe, tell him, hell no, I won't go on nobody's field until y'all give me some
He's so.
protection. So, okay. So that's what I had for football this week, but we're going to go back because I had a couple of questions for you to talk about these other games.
Okay.
Um, the Chiefs and the Eagles, we talked about. And my question is, should we be concerned because the Chiefs, I don't know if you heard, but Patrick Mahomes had more rushing yards than Pacheco and Kareem Hunt combined. And that says a lot about who he is as a quarterback, but it also says he's running for his life. And that also says they don't have a run game. So if they don't have a run game, then it's also like they don't have a whole lot of options either as far as receivers, because Xavier Worthy went out week 1 with his injury. He will be back this week, but from what I understand, it was a shoulder injury. He may have to wear a brace. I'm not exactly sure how many snaps he's going to be able to play, and I'm not even sure if he's even going to be the same um, after that injury so soon. But the fact that they're trying to bring him back should so early should tell you the state that they're in, passing and on the ground, because they don't have how, like, they have Hollywood Brown, but he is not as productive. So the Chiefs 0-2 start. This is, again, it's the first time that they've had an 0-2 start since 2014, and they did not make the playoffs that season. So is this the end of the Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl run?
Well, unless something dramatic happens, I don't know that they're gonna, you know, mount a Super Bowl victory this year. I think they'll be better than they are. They just have some critical injuries right now,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
his receiver core is just not very deep. So when you
yeah.
have people out, it just kind of throws everything off. And then he's forcing things to Travis Kelsey, trying to, that's his security blanket, and everybody knows that. So then you
Right.
end up throwing interceptions and things like that. But I think a big part of it is that they have a lot of people injured. And so
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's something that, will eventually work itself out if Pat can hang on long enough and not get injured himself, because he's literally putting himself at jeopardy because, like you said, I
Yes,
mean, he's
yes,
running the ball like he's a running back now, and not necessarily because he's wanting to. It's not drawn plays. It's just because nobody's open and
mhm.
he can't get it off. So he's literally being forced into that position to have to turn into
Right.
that. And so the consistency on offense hasn't been there whatsoever. Suspensions. I mean, they just have a lot of
They
things that
do.
that have just been happening with them. And
Yeah.
then, you know, Travis Kelsey, I think, is focused on getting married, and because he's a little not himself as well, because he's, typically Mr. Clutch. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't
Yes.
know. I think in the past it was a lot easier for them to overcome whatever obstacles they had. Um, but now it's almost like they don't have the depth to be able to make mistakes. Like they can't turn the
Right.
ball over. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
can't, not convert whenever they need, because they don't have the depth. And so if they miss it, they may not get back to that. And I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the other thing that's going to kill them. Now, you got to also think about now their division is a lot stronger than it's been in the past.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
that's also going to affect them. So I don't know. I mean, I think this year's just going to be a bit different for them. Not saying they won't make the playoffs, but I really have doubts about Super Bowl contention right now.
And like Todd was saying, like or Andre said, he wouldn't count them out if they were to get healthy. And I don't feel like you can ever count out a healthy Chiefs team, because again, they made it to the Super Bowl with kind of no offense. So you can't really count them out. You're right. So I Todd, I hope that Patrick Mahomes doesn't get hurt, but it's a lot of running. Like, he really is good at eluding the defense, but he shouldn't have to run like he does. Like
Yeah, well, and then he's not a Lamar. You know what I'm saying? Lamar runs because he's
yes,
used to running. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his
yes,
thing. Pat runs because he's athletic and he can make some plays with his legs.
and he has
Not
to.
every play, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so then going to the Packers and the Commandos game. The I was wondering about the Commandos. I need the Commandos fans to step up. Because so I felt like the Commandos have been on an incline since they got Dan Quinn from us a few seasons ago. But for whatever reason, they have just hit this ceiling. And it's not even like they hit the ceiling. It's like they hit the ceiling and started regressing.
Yeah.
So the thing is, their run game, they had, remember, they had Brian Robinson Jr. Brian Robinson Jr. was traded to San Francisco, so they leaned on Austin Eckler, and Austin Eckler ended up tearing his Achilles this last game, so they had to sign Chase Edmonds. They keep going to get these running backs that are older and past their prime. So they don't really have a run game. And then when you look at their passing game, they have Terry McLaurin, Debo, and Zach Ertz. And like I said earlier, none of those receivers got over 65 yards for this game. They're doing little bits and pieces. Now, Jaden Daniels he's young, he's promising, but what is going on with the Washington Commandos? Like did they put so much stock into their defense where um oh, he said it's no sound.
Uh-oh. Hello?
Can you hear me? My mic is on.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't
My
know. Andre, let us know now if you can hear us. I don't know.
yeah. But so I'm just curious to know what was going on with Washington, like what's going on with them now, where it definitely seems like I was concerned about them the last couple of seasons in the NFC East, and now I'm just like,
Not anymore.
I'm not. And am I wrong for thinking that?
No, I mean, they have injuries, like you were saying. I mean, Austin Eckler, and then they have Wise, their D lineman who's out. So they have injuries on offense and on defense. And I think the other thing is, you know, Jaden Daniels doesn't have anybody he can use to stretch the field. Like he doesn't have anybody who can get out there and go
Nope.
that he can, have as a deep threat. And so it
McLaurin
makes
is
it
supposed to be that.
he's not.
He's not.
But so that makes it easier for defenses, right?
Yeah.
And then on offense, their offensive line. I mean, I guess there's just a lot of teams right now struggling with their offensive line because
Yes.
their line is
Yes.
really they give up so much pressure. So Jaden is getting pressured a lot, especially
Yeah.
against somebody like Green Bay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, he's going to get killed going against somebody like that because their line is not strong enough. I mean, they just haven't been consistent. And again, I think the injuries because there's literally no pass rush. That their defensive line is not getting any pressure on.
Yes.
They literally every pretty much every aspect of the game they have some shortcomings, whether it's
Yeah.
throwing the ball, running the ball, and on defense they're just kind of off. And I don't know that the injuries that they have can warrant all of that, or if there's something else going on. But their pass rush and to be honest, their secondary is not necessarily very good either. But again, their secondary has to learn to guard if they
Yeah.
don't have anybody putting pressure on the QB. And I think it's just been a few things that's happened that's kind of caused that. And Green Bay, is Green Bay. And right now, Green Bay is Super Bowl caliber. And so they're going to give a lot of people fits. And this Washington team is they're just, nah. Like you said, it's like they hit a peak and then they just
Started
like
recruiting.
got to the peak and like just slowly started slipping down. And
Did.
the injuries have kind of made that, and just not having the right people in place. Like their
Right.
roster is just crazy because like you said, they're running back. Like they have no real run game
They
at all.
don't at
And
all.
and so you take away the run game, you don't really have anyone to stretch the field.
Yeah.
It's easy to scheme for, it's easy to guard. I mean, so
Right.
they
Right.
just don't have any consistency at the positions that they really need to have it at.
They don't. And they had so much potential. They really did.
They
And
did.
I mean, for a minute, and we talked about it the last couple of seasons, like, oh,
Didn't
I
even like them the last couple seasons, but
no,
hey,
because they were so good, like really contenders versus us, especially in the NFC East. Like we finally got to the point where the only team we were worried about in the East was or the only team we weren't worried about was the Giants.
right,
Everybody else we were like, oh,
right,
we're no longer the NFC least. But
right.
now Washington, you making us look bad.
Yeah.
Get it together. Not don't get it together a whole lot though. Just a little lot.
Gone back down there in your little corner.
In real life. So what Andre is saying is that Green Bay is scary. Listen,
Man,
offensively, defensively, quarterback play,
everything. I
the
mean, everything.
y'all, their tight ends are so good. And like they're really good.
I
So
mean,
it is still
yeah,
early in the season.
I cannot even imagine. I mean, they got Micah Parsons dominating their defense, and
That's
he
ghetto.
has something to prove right now. I mean, at every position, their offense is like uber explosive, and now they have a healthy Jordan Love, and I mean, yeah, Green Bay is scary.
And they are. And
Eh,
so someone asked earlier what we thought about the Micah and Jerry situation. Listen, as I've gotten over the last few weeks, I feel differently about this trade than I did about the Luka trade because I'm still beefing about the Luka trade because the ghetto, right? I'm over the Micah Parsons trade. And let me tell you why. Because now, like, yes, Micah Parsons is a great explosive pass rusher. And at the same time, we still could not defend the run even with him on the field. The money that he wanted for us to give would have locked us up in a lot of other areas. And I don't feel like he was worth that money right now. Maybe in another couple of seasons or whatever, but I would have to see the defense be drastically better before I would completely be on board with giving Micah that type of money, because I think giving him that type of money still would not have warranted us a playoff spot. It would not have guaranteed us defending the run. It would not have guaranteed us even a sack per game. And the fact is, like, I don't think right now that Micah is worth that type of money. Now, what he does in Green Bay, we gonna see. But I definitely feel like, hey, somebody needs to talk to our O line now and start prepping them and getting in their ear so that Dak is not on this ground going up against Green Bay in a couple of weeks, and Michael Parsons trying to have a revenge game because of his beef with Jerry Jones. Now, Micah, we love you. We did not want to see you go. We love Dak, and don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, I think we all know that that's going to definitely be a revenge game for him. Now, are we going to be able to protect Dak? I really don't know. I don't know. You know, he gonna be out there young and wild and free. And
Right.
yeah,
Right. I do feel like the Michael trade overall, the big picture, the bigger picture, I do feel like it was a good trade now, because I don't think that sacks are overrated. Because it does say a lot about the defense, but the Micah trade, we'll see how we do with Jadeveon Clowney and see if our defense gets better throughout the season. But I definitely don't think that our defense could get better with paying Micah all of that money. And if we paid him all of that money, we wouldn't be able to worry about the secondary. We wouldn't be able to worry.
we haven't worried about the secondary in a long time. That's the problem. I
Yeah.
mean, to me, the biggest thing for me is Michael was our best player. And to me, trading him, I didn't think was necessarily the best thing. And I get what you're saying, even as far as the run, but regarding the sacks, if he's getting doubled and tripled, then somebody else should be getting sacks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if he's
Yeah.
1-on-1, he's getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
That just didn't happen a whole lot, which should have opened up the other side. Now, you know, you can look at that from that perspective, that they weren't getting there and doing what they were supposed to do, but he drew what he was supposed to draw, and he still got a lot of pressure. So they had a
And he
fight
was
with him.
still good, double teamed. Legit, they would have to hold that.
That's
Those are
yeah.
penalties.
So that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he added that element, and
Yeah.
so it just made a big difference, and so it also helped the secondary. So I agree, our run defense wasn't the best, but it made our defense in general better, because if anything were to happen, if they were trying to throw the ball, then our secondary, you only got to cover for 1.5 seconds. Surely, you can cover for less than 2 seconds before
Now
the
you
ball
gotta
can get out.
cover for like 6, 7.
Nah, you don't even have to cover that long, because the ball gonna be gone. Like Russell Wilson just picked us apart. Like, and so if you going up against a good QB with the what we have on the field right now, hopefully next week in Chicago, we'll have Jadavian and everything will be better. I hope, I think. But it's hard in general to cover for a length of time, but when you are not, because I mean, I like Diggs. He's not a good cover. He's a ball hawk. He looks for the ball. He doesn't cover well. He doesn't tackle well most of the
Gosh,
time. I
that's
like
a
him.
factual statement, and I hate that I agree with that.
I like him, but I'm just saying, if the ball is in the air, he's going to go and try and get the ball. But if he has to cover, if they make it, Lord forbid they make a double move, because that's that, because he gonna bite on the first one because he wants to pick. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so he doesn't cover well, and he gonna run beside you and push you out of bounds. He ain't trying to tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you were Dion didn't tackle much either, but Dion just came up with the ball, and he covered any and everybody. Like, he could cover well. So it made a big difference. But if you don't cover well and you don't tackle well, then yeah, you're gonna give up stuff in the secondary.
So Andre wants to know if we think that Micah is more motivated now. Listen,
For
if I
sure.
if I got the money that Michael Parsons got, yes,
And
absolutely,
And not even just that,
absolutely,
he's motivated because he wanted to be in Dallas. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, he
yeah,
wanted to stay here. He wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy. And now it's like, oh, they didn't value me. They didn't appreciate me. I'm gonna show you what you're missing.
yeah. I get that, and it's to me, it's the yes, it's the money, but honestly, as Green Bay continues the season and as they continue winning, I think that's just gonna fuel his fire even more because he is one of those talents that is motivated by winning. It's not all about the money. I think Micah, like, to for him, I think it was more about wanting to be valued here.
Right. Yeah,
Um,
I
and
agree.
and that wasn't the case because of Jerry Jones. And again, so I'm still beefing with Jerry about it. But to Sadell's point, what she said earlier, the money that we had to pay Jadeveon Clowney and the money that we didn't have to pay Micah Parsons frees us up to be able to go and get more help in the secondary, more help just in the defense as a whole. And I think for that business wise and looking at the bigger picture, I definitely feel like, yeah, that's it. Yes, fire Jerry. Absolutely, definitively fire Jerry. This is my
Never
toxic
gonna
relationship.
happen.
I
Never
could
gonna happen.
love Jerry. We could live our best life for the rest of our lives,
It's not gonna happen.
but
And
we can't.
the crazy thing to me with Jerry, to be honest, after watching that documentary, this documentary is new. It's new. This this man still talking about playing football, like, still talking about Arkansas. I mean, he's still living in that thing. Like, he made a comment saying something about, it's just, some things don't change. It's just like you're playing in Arkansas, playing football. And he's literally still living in that. And so, him being the owner and GM, as he makes sure everybody knows,
And the coach and
and the
everybody in
coach.
the front office.
But that is just, that's as close as he can get to the field. And he is just really just reliving that. He is not going to let that go. Granted, I mean, he probably got some kind of cryo chamber he sleeps in every night. Who knows? But he ain't letting it go. He gonna be here as long
I
as he
know.
possibly can.
And that's why we're gonna still, that's why we have a toxic relationship. That is why. So
Yes, Andre. Yes. We're 30 years in the past, for
oh,
sure.
that's hilarious. Okay, so listen, y'all. Thursday night football, Dolphins versus Bills. Who y'all got?
Bills?
Of course.
What? What are
Because
we
what
talking
are the
about?
Dolphins doing? Hey,
Right.
the Dolphins need to dismantle, start over. No more Tua, no more Mike McDaniel. Just start over.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
because geez Louise.
are the Bengals going to beat the Vikings without Joe Burrow?
I don't think so.
Okay. Chiefs and Giants Sunday night football. Who y'all got?
Chiefs.
Okay. I listen. I think I have more.
Ain't no way they going 0-3. It's just I can't imagine it.
Listen,
Ain't no way.
I would be here for it though. Because I'm here for those conversations next week. So go Giants, because I just let's see how the Giants do. Monday Night Football, Lions versus Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's gonna be a good one.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it
Yeah, I
is.
don't know. That's gonna be a good one.
Um, I'm gonna go with the Ravens on Monday Night Football. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Barron said trade Tyreek. Listen, they need to do a whole dismantling of the Miami Dolphins right now.
I mean,
Start
like,
over from
what
scratch.
in the world? Like, it's awful. It's bad.
Yes, yes, like
God.
really, really
And
bad.
Tua, I mean, Tua just probably doesn't need to be playing, to be honest.
Girl, I said that last season and the
You did
season before.
you did. And
Yes,
I just think it's just been too many head injuries. And I mean, not saying that's what's causing everything, but maybe that's what's causing everything. I don't know. But
but
I just
their offense is so crappy in the sense of they go as Tua goes. If Tua has a crappy game, they can't even run the ball. Like, in what world, if the quarterback can't pass, can y'all not put the ball on the ground? They don't have a run game if Tua has a bad game. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, why can't your offense say, okay, the ball in the air, that's not working for us tonight. Let's keep it on the ground. It doesn't
um
work. It doesn't work
yeah.
like that in
I
Miami.
I
So
don't even I yeah. Dismantle them, start over, something.
yes. And that's no hating on Tua, but that's what it is. But
It's no
yeah,
hating on him, but I just think maybe he needs to not play.
I think Tua would be a great position coach
Maybe.
in college.
Right, or high school.
And that's no dig to him. Love you, Tua. So, okay, y'all, we got to wrap this up. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
Wait. What about Crawford?
Hey, yo, okay, before we go,
Right,
because
right, right.
here's the deal, Crawford and Canelo. I watched that fight. First of all, can we get earlier boxing matches?
Man, Lord Jesus, I ain't gonna lie. To be honest, I fell asleep after the fifth round, but I
Me too.
I felt very confident because man, he looked good.
Yes,
He looked good from the very
yes,
beginning. And he's
he
just
looked
such a and
great.
then he comes out, he got his Mexican music playing. The king is here. Like, what I'm saying? He just a nice guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, King
Yeah,
Bud. And I mean,
King
just
Bud.
that was great though. That was awesome.
It was. And you know what? I feel like fights like that fight are so good for the sport, because
Yes,
we
I
have
agree.
gotten to this where boxing is them just chasing each other around the ring. And that,
Or
like,
or
where
or
they're
not,
only
or just
touching
walking
each other.
around, nobody's throwing no punches.
Right. Like, that ain't no real fight. Where I'm from, we squabble, we throw these hands.
Girl,
You know what I'm saying? So it's
I
like,
don't.
right. This is South Side of Chicago. So we throw these hands in real life. But
Okay.
Bud Bud came out like no fear. And the thing was, Canelo took them punches. But so did Bud, because Canelo was getting him body shots up the woozah, and he was taking them like a champ.
Like
But
nothing.
but
Like
yo,
nothing.
Exactly, but for them to go, like, if the amount of landed punches in this fight, look at the amount of landed punches compared to other boxing matches. Give me this fight 10 times over.
Yeah.
Do you want to see a rematch? Because I don't know if I want to see a rematch, but I want to see another fight this good.
I mean, but I enjoy watching him.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
entertaining. And he's a good dude. People were talking about him. Look at him with his 6 kids. He got 6 kids with one person. That's
Right.
his woman. Like,
Right.
let that man he taking care of them. His
Man,
kids
even beyond
know
that,
him.
like who cares? Right? I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean, long as he ain't beating them or doing whatever, I don't really care. He can have 20 kids by 20 different women. Whether
He's a
that has
good
nothing to
dude.
do with me, long as
Yes.
he taking care of and not abusing them.
Right. But I'm just saying, people, they try to find whatever they can
Yeah, exactly.
to
That don't
discount
have nothing
him.
to do with them or
No,
boxing.
but he's so good at what he
Yeah.
does. And I was really happy to see him win that fight. I don't know if he's gonna fight again. I know whenever we talk about boxing, it's fun for us, especially after we got to interview Sean Porter.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. So yeah, like, bring back boxing where they actually box instead of dancing around the ring. Bring that back. Go
Yeah.
Bud.
Yeah, that was awesome. But anyway, I just want to throw that part in real quick. Um, but anyway, what else you got? That's it.
That's it. That's all till next week.
Till next week, and it's going to be another great show. We
Yes.
thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with us this late night edition we got going on with those sports chicks. If no one told you they love you this week, know that we love you and we really mean it and appreciate you. So we'll see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your week.
See you
Peace out.
guys.